Welcome to the Motorsport UK British Car Championships. I'm Jake Sanson, and we're gearing up for action in the TKM and Honda paddock at PF International. The Karting UK Bambino Championship shares the bill for their first round of the season before heading off on their UK tour. We caught up with Scotland's Evie Davidson, who's keeping it in the family, as she's related to three-time Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti. We asked how she's been preparing for the weekend and if Dario's given her any advice.
I'm Evie and I'm racing the Bambino class. I've been doing it for 2 years now. So my uncle's Paul DeResta, he does DTM driving and he's on TV and he also speaks on the TV. I can't remember, is it Formula 1? I don't know. All my family just started getting used to karting, so they thought that I would be good at it, so they got me booked into karting. So I was a bit nervous because it's a really big track. I stayed behind a couple of people just to test it out and then I just went.
So, Phillips, Freeman, Carter, Hookey, Davis, Davidson, Mason, Licata, Thompson, Very. That's your top 10. The drivers are ready and the battle is going to be charging forward. When the lights go out, the drivers on the standing start of the grid will be ready to race. They're on their own now for 12 minutes plus 1 lap, and it's going to be an amazing race. Jesse Phillips on the inside line, Harry Freeman on the outside line. 19 of them battling for the victory. Here we go. The Bambino Championship 2019 is go! Great start from Phillips. Perfect from Freeman. He slots right back into position in second place as he charges after Jesse Phillips. And it's a perfect start as they run through the first couple of corners. No worries. Oh, spin! 2 cars have gone together there at the first corner, and unfortunately a couple of them have gone around. So they're going to have to get going again. That looks like the 21 of Noah Baglin. I'm not sure who it is that he went in with, but certainly the 2 of them in some trouble there. Well, the drivers are now onto the back straight, and it's Phillips from Freeman. Carter is still there in 3rd position. Jensen Hookey appears to have lost a couple of positions as Evie Davidson now makes the charge up the inside of Jacob Davis to go into 4th position. That's going to be a clean move for Davidson. Oh, she's just tapped the back of Carter. Oh, big shame for Davidson, and up over the top of her goes, now who is that that's gone over the back? I think that's Katie Donaldson. So a big problem there for those 2. Oh, what a shame for Davidson. Just tagged the back wheel of Carter. Nothing she could do about it. Totally unintentional. It's just so easily done, and unfortunately Katie Donaldson had nowhere to go but up into the air on 2 wheels. Wow, that's a real shame for both of them. Davidson recovers. Looks like Donaldson is out of the race. Well, it's a difficult start to the weekend, a difficult start to the season then for Katie Donaldson, but she'll be able to recover from that, and she's got to take the positives out of this weekend. She's done a very admirable job in very difficult circumstances. That was completely not her fault at all. Oh, my apologies, it's not Katie Donaldson. I'm being told it's a different driver who's collided there. So I think that, I'm wondering, is that Charlie Very? Charlie Very from the front end of the field appears not to have come through. No, Katie Donaldson's up in about 12th place. Indeed, it looks like Charlie Very has not come through. So Very, who I think was involved in the incident earlier with Noah Baglin. So Katie Donaldson is charging through the field. She's up in about 12th position. So clearly, she didn't want me saying how difficult her weekend's been. It's going just fine, thanks very much. She's up into the top 10 nearly and is pushing on very hard indeed. So out in front, it is the top 5. They're well clear. Phillips, Freeman and Carter. Up to 4th place now comes Max Mason. He gets the job done on Jacob Davis. And there's an amazing squabble for the lower positions. 6th place, that looks like Fletcher Jameson in front of, oh, that's Oscar Askell Tucker. What a drive he's having. Up in front of Taylor O'Neill. Taylor O'Neill's in trouble. Taylor O'Neill's in trouble. He's slowing. Oh, no. Tyler O'Neill slows down to a stop by the look of it very briefly and gets himself back up to speed again, but a real problem for Tyler O'Neill out of the final corner. No, Tyler O'Neill has pulled off. Oh, such a shame. It's just out of my line of sight, unfortunately. The gantry is blocking me from my view of the incident, but what a shame. Jesse Phillips leads the way then from Harry Freeman and Henry Carter. Then Max Mason and Jacob Davis, Fletcher Jameson and Oscar Askell-Tucker. Then it's Rio Licata who comes next in front of the likes of Finley Lawson and Archie Beard. Jensen Hookie's making massive progress, by the way. He's up at the 8th place as Evie Davidson has fought her way back into the top 10. There's some good recovery drives in this race. Down the back straight, Jesse Phillips in front of Harry Freeman and Henry Carter. These three will battle for the victory. Carter looks so much stronger in this race even than he did in the pre-final. So Henry Carter could be a real threat for the victory here this time. Jesse Phillips has won everything he's touched so far this weekend. Second place, Harry Freeman, still pushing very hard indeed as they go through the second hairpin. No major problems there. Third place, though, Henry Carter having an amazing run. And Henry Carter has just got so much big. Oh, now that's a spin in the first hairpin. I think that's Davidson again. Oh, what a shame. A really tricky day at the office in the end then for Evie Davidson. One problem after another. She'll fight her way back, but all it takes is one dent in confidence and it can start to unspiral you. But she's done an amazing job all weekend. She's run in the top 3 several times this weekend, so she can take plenty of comfort from that. Out of the final corner and down the main straight, Jesse Phillips leads the way in front of Harry Freeman and Henry Carter as they keep pushing down the main straight. Up towards the first chicane. What a race this is turning into, and catching them all is Max Mason. Mason's really starting to jog on a pace now in 4th place to reel them in. Then it's Davis, then Jameson. There is Jensen Hookie. So Jensen Hookie is looking to move up into P6. Then it's Oscar Askell-Tucker in 8th from Finley Lawson and Noah Baglin. Then it's Archie Beard and Katie Donaldson. Hallie Findlater, so those two girls have done very well indeed. Then it's Aston Brown from Rio Licata and Evie Davidson. Tyler O'Neill sadly out of the race with Charlie Berry and Ewan Thompson. But here comes the battle for the victory, and it's these three still squabbling away. Carter looks like he's got a good run, but he's going to work with Freeman to close up on Jesse Phillips once more. And here's a 4th one joining the fray. That's Max Mason now right with them. Here goes Carter. He's sensing an opportunity. He's now going to go through on the inside of Harry Freeman, and that's a lovely pass, but Freeman's not going to let him have it! Brilliant defence from Freeman. Any other driver would have rolled over and let that one go, but not Harry Freeman. Brilliant battle there. Holds on to 2nd place, and that's put the stopper in Henry Carter for the moment. So Harry Freeman remains in 2nd position. And in the lead, it is Jesse Phillips. Freeman's still there in P2. Then it is Carter in front of Max Mason. They come out of the final turn and down the main straight once more. And it's side by side for 2nd. Here comes Henry Carter up the inside of Freeman. Surely this time he's going to get the move. That's a lovely bit of driving out of the final turn and into 2nd position. So Freeman's still there for 3rd place, but he's going to have another look. Got to be very careful not to allow Max Mason the chance to come through. There's a good battle going on for 6th as well. Jensen Hookie and Fletcher Jameson. Oscar Askell-Tucker is 8th from Lawson, Baglin, Katie Donaldson and Hallie Findlater have both come up a place into 11th and 12th. Here comes Max Mason. Max Mason's now going to get the move on Henry Carter because Freeman's got back into 2nd place, and now there's a chance for Carter to get back into P2 if he can hold on in front of Mason. Mason just unable to get into that 3rd place spot. But all of this is allowing Jesse Phillips the chance to build a lead, and when he gets this kind of lead, he never loses it. So Jesse Phillips just jogging on a pace. Can he get the clean sweep? It would be an amazing achievement here with the Bambinos, as Freeman is doing a brilliant job of hanging on to 2nd position. But does he need to work with Carter essentially now to get close to Jesse Phillips? When he dives for the inside line at Bobby Game, he's not wanting to lose the 2nd place spot he's got. Oh, and that's a spin, and it looks like out of the race for Evie Davidson on the approach to the first hairpin. Oh, what a shame. A difficult race for Evie Davidson, and it ends in a disappointment from her point of view. Well, that's a shame. She had so much going for her into this final. An opportunity to take the victory was definitely there. As up the inside for 2nd, that is Carter. Carter makes the move on Freeman down the main straight. So Carter gets into P2. That's a lovely bit of driving. Now they've got to be a little bit careful here because the leaders are coming through with Davidson's kart on the outside of the run to the hairpin, but I think they're going to be okay. Finlay Lawson's come up 10 places from the grid. What an amazing charge back through the field this is for Finlay. The Scotsman has gone from 17th on the grid to 7th. That is an amazing charge through. And then it's Oscar Ascot-Tucker, another driver who's made massive progress, up 7 places to 8th. And then it is Noah Baglin, Jensen Hookey recovering after his moment earlier on in the race. And up to 11th place has come Katie Donaldson, up 11th position now from what was 19th. So she's had a much better race this time in the final. Jessie Phillips still leads as they go up the hill. Now, is there a chance for a comeback here from Mason? Oh, Mason had a look at Henry Carter into turn 4. That's held him up a little bit, and now Harry Freeman's got another chance to come back down the back straight. So Freeman's got a good run, he's got a good lunge, he's going to work with Mason to get closer to Carter. He's using strategy at this point of the race because he knows that a victory is unlikely unless they can close up on Phillips. But Freeman's got a chance to go for a podium here, and he knows it. Into the hairpin. Oh, they're all taking that very quickly, even for Bambino's at the second hairpin. Bit of a wobble for Carter. Mason just about hanging on in front of Freeman. They're into the chicane, and it looks very neat and tidy indeed from the Bambinos. They're putting on very hard. Freeman's all over the back of Mason. He really wants this podium spot. A trophy in the first race of the season would be an amazing fillip for the youngster. They come through to the Mike Wilson complex again. The order unchanged in the top 4. Davis is well settled into his 5th place spot now. Fletcher Jameson and Finlay Lawson look like they'll squabble over 6th place to the flag, but the top 4 have come through. Jessie Phillips with 2 minutes to go. So by my mathematics, that's 3 laps left. Henry Carter in 2nd place in front of Max Mason. Harry Freeman is there in 4th position. He's lost a few kart lengths, but there's still plenty of time to get back into 2nd position. He's definitely got the racecraft to get there. We've seen that already in this final. As up the inside, Mason has a look. He's not quite going to get there past Henry Carter. Off the Litchfield Bridge and down the back straight. Now that's a hesitation moment for Max Mason. This is the chance for Freeman to come back into the action, and he's not going to wait around. This time he's going to make the move for 3rd position, but Mason goes deeper into the brakes, blends in off the throttle, and Freeman can't get there. But this is helping because Phillips is not able to run as fast as these 3 in unison can. So they are going to close him up before the end of the race. They need to work together here. They've got to go together in order to close up on Jessie Phillips. They can't just think about themselves at this point. A victory is possible with the time we've got left, but they need to team up. Down to Bobby Game corner, through the right-hander, and up towards the Mike Wilson complex. They are eating away at Jessie Phillips' lead. They are doing it. They are working in unison. And this is going to be a 4-way fight for the victory in the final 2 laps of the race. Phillips' lead is decimated. There is the 2nd place man, Carter, with Mason and Freeman in close pursuit. And now it's going to be a 4-way fight for the victory. 3 spots on the podium, 1 victory, and 4 of them questing for them all. Into the first chicane. Oh, Freeman's going to be brave. Oh, just about backs out of that in time with Max Mason. That was some real courage there from Freeman to try and get on the inside of the chicane. He realised it wasn't going to work just in the nick of time. Well bailed out because he didn't lose a lot of speed either. He scrubbed it off the throttle, and that gives him a chance to come back for the podium. So down the back straight. Phillips, Carter, Mason, Freeman. 3 of these drivers are going to end up on the podium. One's going to come over now, then Freeman dives to the inside of Mason, and that's going to be a lovely move, but he's going to run out wide. Can he get back on the switchback? He drifted a little bit too far in the braking zone, and that was just enough to let Mason come back through. Meanwhile, Carter's got one thing on his mind, the lead of the race, and that is just up the road. Jessie Phillips is being caught rapidly by Henry Carter. Henry Carter's all over the back of him as they come through the chicane. And is he going to make the move now? Because we are out of time. So he's only going to have a lap and a half to do anything about the lead of the race for Jessie Phillips. He has a look into Bobby Game corner. Will he make the lunge into the Mike Wilson complex? He just can't find the inside line yet. But Henry Carter senses that there's a victory in this. If he could just keep putting the pressure on Jessie Phillips, it might happen. Out of the final corner, 1 lap to go, and who knows how this is going to go. Jessie Phillips defends the inside line to cover. They come into the first chicane, and Henry Carter hangs on through the first chicane. Jessie Phillips in first position, trying desperately to hang on to it. They will tote their way through the hairpin, up through the far side. Phillips protecting well. Freeman still giving a lot of pressure to Max Mason in third position. 4 drivers, 3 places on the podium, and it could go anybody's way. Down the back straight. From now on, it's a race straight to the victory. Freeman's working with Mason down the back straight. They're gaining a lot of ground on Carter. Phillips is opening up the taps. He's opening up the gap. He needs to stay focused here. He needs to be calm. Down the short stretch to the second hairpin. This is going to be an amazing battle for the finish line now. Phillips going beautifully in the lead of the race. Carter still there in second. Third position, Mason has got Freeman closing in. Phillips is desperately trying to get a good run out of the second hairpin, but it's going to tighten up at the far side of the circuit. They go through the S's. Carter knows that a victory is possible now as they come up to Bobby Game corner. Through the right-hander, no move is made. Into the Mike Wilson complex. Can Carter get on the inside? Phillips defends beautifully to the inside apex. Freeman may get a chance on the podium with Mason, but it looks like Phillips is just going to hang on. Mason's going to go for it on the inside. He's not going to get the drop. Carter's going to get a good run off the final turn. It's going to be a drag race to the line, and the victor is going to be Phillips. He just gets there. Brilliant racing in the Bambinos. 0.05 at the line. So close. Jesse Phillips hangs on for the clean sweep, pushed all the way by Henry Carter. Max Mason in third from Harry Freeman. What a battle. All 4 of them covered by less than 0.7 of a second. Jacob Davis is 5th from Noah Backlund and Jensen Hookey. Oscar Ascot-Tucker comes home in 8th. And what about this? Ascot-Tucker 8th, up 7 places. Finley Lawson to 9th is up 8 places. But the big mover of the race, up 9 positions to 10th, is Katie Donaldson. She's done superbly well. From the back of the grid to 10th. What a race from her. Aston Brown 11th from Archie Beard and Hallie Findlater. All of them making progress in the race. Fletcher Jameson and Rio Licata sadly having difficult ends to their races. But what a battle it was in the end. I think Fletcher Jameson has actually retired on the last lap of the race, unfortunately. Indeed, Fletcher Jameson has pulled off on the first hairpin on the last lap. But it looks as though Fletcher is okay. So Fletcher Jameson out, Evie Davidson, Tyler O'Neill, Charlie Berry and Ewan Thompson likewise. But what a victory for Jesse Phillips. What a great first race of the season in the Karting UK Bambino Championship. And just let this roll on all season long, please. That was amazing racing. And they are going to have an epic 2019 season.
So Jesse Phillips opens his Karting UK Bambino Championship account with a perfect victory, with Henry Carter and Max Mason snapping at his heels.
I had a battle with Jesse on the first 2 heats. And number 78 holding me back for 5 laps. I then got on the 6th lap, and then I got 3rd.
I was a little bit nervous today. I was kind of having a battle with Max because he's behind me. Well done to Jesse and Max.
Yeah, I want to say well done to Henry and Max because they raced very well at the end. Well, at the final, Henry was right on my bumper. I had to defend. And I was having a battle with Max on the first 2 heats, but unfortunately he spun out on one of the hairpins.